Hello, everyone. Welcome to Anime Static, Shocking Jay's anime podcast. I'm one of your hosts today, Bren. To my right is Ryan.
Hey.
And this week we are back in our Megalobox series discussing episode 5. During our time here today, we will go over a brief synopsis of the episode, followed by our thoughts and opinions. And this is round 5, The Man from Death. So it starts with basically the whole episode is just this introduction of a new character. In the very beginnings, not the very like a small chunk, I would say, of the fight between Joe and the new character. And we learn more about him. We learn his name, all these things. But the episode's pretty much just all about him, and then obviously the fight.
Yeah, Aragaki, yeah. Introducing him, basically.
Yeah. So he's this... he is one of Nambu's, like, old trainees. He was, like, the golden kid for Nambu.
He was, like, the, not apprentice, but, like, he was...
Like, the prize child. Yeah.
Because it showed, like, Nambu had a gym.
He had a gym, but, yeah, this guy was obviously the most...
But it seemed like this was, like, his protege?
His biggest potential, the golden kid or whatever, the one that's supposed to make it the biggest and best.
Well, it's like, it was
successful.
his, like, most personal, like...
Also, I think his most personal as well,
he was the closest with, this one.
Right.
I mean, we didn't see anyone else like that he mentored or like trained, but I mean, it seemed like it was basically him.
Yeah.
I don't know if there was anyone else, but yeah, he had a gym, so I don't know.
Right, and after Aragaki left, it kind of went downhill big time.
Yeah.
Especially when...
Did they say why? Just like... Did he close up the gym? Is that what happened?
He probably did after he found out that Aragaki was supposedly KIA. So Aragaki was Nambu's trainee. He was one of Nambu's fighters, his best one, so to speak.
Yeah.
And then he was in the reserves, had to go to war, and got blown up. And there's the scene with the butterfly over and over again that Aragaki obviously has, PTSD with and all. But basically, he got blown up in the war. Everyone thought he was KIA. They reported him KIA. Nambu thought he was, like, just shut it out, moved on, so to speak. Not necessarily dealing with it, but, it was just one of those, he just didn't want to, deal with it. So he just kept moving forward in life. And then Aragaki comes back. He has no legs, and he has these burn scars and stuff like that, and continues to, like, work and fight again. And he has, like, robot legs, and is, like, the number 17 fighter in Megalobox or Megalomania or Megalonia, if I'll ever get that right.
It's just like the rankings in general, I guess.
There's
just, like, always a ranking. Is there?
I don't know. Well, they said he, like, clawed his way up to number 17, and there's always been a number 1. I think there's always been...
like,
rankings,
sort, yeah.
I mean, because that's how it is even in boxing. And
is Megalonia? I forget. That's a new thing, though, right?
Megalonia is a new... I think it's just, like, a tournament where it's, like... Yeah. Instead of just having... because we have, like, fights. We have, like, bouts of Manny Pacquiao versus so-and-so, or, Mayweather was, like, the headlining fight. But now it's just like a tournament of everybody, winner take all, like bracket style.
The Megalonia is the top 4, right? I think that's what they said. It's like the top 4 or something. Like, and you have to be in the top 4. It's the top 4 fighters.
I don't know.
I forgot.
I thought it was like a big tournament that you have to, like, kind of like March Madness, where it's like the top 64 make it, and then you just keep fighting until you get to the very end.
I don't know. They haven't talked about it recently.
We still don't know the structure.
We're talking about climbing up the ranks. That's what's going on.
Right. But we know you need to be at least a certain rank to get up there.
Yeah.
Maybe it is only the...
I thought that's what it was.
But that would be kind of lame. It's just like it would be 3 fights. Mm-hmm. Because you have 2 semi-fights and a finals. And all of this hype for 3 fights?
I thought I saw there's like an image in my head of like 4. 4 and like there's 2 and then, the final. I don't know. I don't remember. They talk about in, like, the first episode. I don't think they brought it up since then. Of, like,
maybe. But there has to be, like, a qualifying, because otherwise there wouldn't be this much craze about it. Because it'd just be like,
get to number 4.
Anybody can get in. Like, that's the point. They're not, like, making this giant tournament so that it's just for the top 4 people. I mean, that may be like the actual Megalonia, but the pre-qualifying needs to be a lot bigger.
I'll see if I can find it.
Like March Madness.
Spoiling myself.
Because with college basketball, it's like 64 teams get in, and for the next 2 weeks, it's just games every day, all day. People are losing that shouldn't lose. People are winning, that have never like won before in the tournament. It's like it's madness for a reason, but it's just because all these things are going on, and there's just a bunch of fights, and it's super entertaining. Or a bunch of games.
All it says on Wikipedia, at least, it just says like, oh yeah, they got to climb the ranks to get to the top. So I don't know.
Maybe.
Sure.
I mean, we'll find out. We obviously don't know much about the structure, and I have a different idea, but maybe I'm completely wrong. Who knows?
I don't know.
We'll see. Either way, as long as we get to see fights, it's all that matters, right?
We'll get there eventually.
We'll get there. But yeah, Argaki's he's a pretty messed up, and he's had a lot of really messed up things in his life. Very scarred. He obviously has PTSD. This whole episode is just encompassed by dark themes. There's war, suicide, pain, loss, the readjustment for veterans coming back from the war, adjusting to civilian life. It's really dark. It's pretty scary, honestly.
Yeah, I don't think they've even mentioned. This is like the first time we heard of like a war happening.
Yeah.
'Cause I don't think they talked about, they like brought that up ever before.
Yeah, we didn't really have. Yeah, the opening scene was Aragaki. Like, you don't know it's him. It's just like a soldier, and then all of a sudden.
So, yeah.
There's very accurate depiction of war from. And some things.
The beginning of the episode,
seen,
like, it's not even like the show. They like start out.
Yeah, it's nothing to do with boxing or fighting, and then he thinks there's like a child that's still left, and he goes to like turn over the body, ends up being a bomb, goes off, and you hear about those things in like the Middle East going on right now, and it's just like, oh man, that's crazy, it's scary, it's horrific, and then he gets blown up, and he still lives because he's obviously there in the episode in present time, but there's that, and then you start to learn more about how he came back, and his story through PTSD and stuff, and I don't even know what is the role, like his coach, his trainer from the VA.
Yeah. It said trainer.
Miyagi or whatever. Yeah, okay.
That's all it all called, Miyagi. Yeah.
Yeah, Miyagi. When he's with Nanbu,
I assume he's just like the head of that gym.
Probably.
He's like the owner or manager or whatever.
Probably, yeah. And it has to do with like veteran affairs and all of that. But when they're out at the graveyard, he's like, most of these are from people who made it home, like soldiers who made it home who ended up committing suicide. Just because it's the adjustment was too much, the pain, the horrific things they saw was too much. And that was. And then there is an almost suicide scene with Aragaki, where he has a gun in his mouth, and it's very, very emotional. But yeah, a lot of dark stuff. And you get to learn a lot about Aragaki. That's just like, okay, that's most of the big dark things out of the, that we're cruising through, not to get hung up on it. But there's a lot of that, and it really paints this picture of who Aragaki is, like what he feels going into this fight.
Yeah, did they say, I don't remember, did they say like how long it has been since the war? Because it's,
no, I don't think so. I don't think we really have an accurate,
of like how long it was between
like
him,
when he
like
got
shutting,
home.
yeah, and then now.
I have no idea. It's got to be a little while.
One interesting thing we learned, I think, from this episode is actually we saw both their ages. So Aragaki is 32, I think.
Yeah,
and Joe's
that's what
22.
Sachio was talking about.
That's crazy that Joe's 22. I never pictured him that young.
Yeah, I never pictured him that young either. That's younger than me. Yeah.
It's between our ages, so that's kind of weird.
I know, that's really funny.
To think of Joe is supposed to be like our age, basically.
Yeah, and then there's Aragaki, who's
And then Aragaki, so he's 10 years older.
yeah, that's pretty crazy.
But yeah, I'm not sure how much time. Yeah, because this episode's about like him. Because I think I don't remember with Aragaki, but Nanbu, like this was the episode that Nanbu realized, like he figures out that, or like he, it's revealed to him that he's alive. He didn't know prior to this episode.
He had no idea. Yeah.
Yeah, and Aragaki too. Did we know that Aragaki knew if Nanbu was alive? Was that like this episode that he?
I think he must have found out
like before, and then
sought him out. He probably found out as soon as like Joe started to get big. Yeah. Because you remember Nanbu was like in the slums, just like doing fixed underground fights. But now that, because Aragaki would have obviously went out and found him if he knew where he was. But I think, and this is what I picture is, when Joe gets big, it's like, oh, Gearless Joe, who's his trainer, Nanbu, and then Aragaki goes, oh, he's alive. I want to fight him.
Or just like that Nanbu is still around.
Right.
Because he went to Nanbu's gym, and it was just like there's nothing there.
Yeah, it was completely closed, like, something like a scene you'd see from, I don't know, like some closed district, but.
And so this episode was about basically Aragaki. Like, he wants to fight like Joe because he sees Joe as like what he could have been. Like they brought that, but like he denied a big theme.
Yeah, he definitely denies it.
Miyagi brought it up, I think, of like he you just want to fight him.
Yeah, when he's doing the leg press in the gym. Yeah, he goes
like, you see Joe as like what you could have been.
What? Yeah,
just like what like
he has what you wanted. You know, like he has the role that you wanted with Nanbu.
Yeah.
Or rather yet, he took it from you, or like that whole like
he's been like replaced.
Right, he's been replaced, which is
because there's the whole thing of Nanbu said like, I'll wait for you or something like that.
He's like, you will always have a home here. You know, come back when I'll be waiting for you. And then.
It was kind of weird though, because I mean, like, I guess this is like kind of the point of the episode, or like a point of it is that Nanbu thought he was dead,
right? And
he was like crushed, and then like
we see the scene where he finds out,
and Aragaki's just like mad that he closed the gym, but like Nanbu didn't know.
Yeah, Aragaki was like, reported KIA. He was reported killed in action,
but he's like really upset.
Miyagi.
What
proof would you need?
Miyagi was like, you believe just the report on TV? And I would be like,
yeah, I would. I know that for me too. I was like, I'm not gonna like.
I don't get why like Miyagi's mad and be like, how did you not like look for it? It's like, I mean, I get. I don't know.
There is a grieving like process of like denial where you're like, that can't be true. And that's part of Nanbu's first reaction is like, that can't be true. Yeah. But then, I guess some people would go to the extent of pursuing it just to make sure. But like, my first reaction was, I saw it on TV, I'd be crushed too. I'd just be trying to like get through the day, get through deal with that moment.
Because I think they mentioned MIA, missing in action. So, but I thought the TV report did say, or I guess the TV didn't say. I can't remember if like, because if he was just reported missing in action, because they had his picture. So it's like if they're reporting him as killed in action, then it's like, and they have his picture and they know, yes, he can, like, we know he is dead, then it's like, I would believe that, if it was reported on like
maybe
TV.
It was a MIA. But MIA. But I don't think Nanbu would have reacted like that if it was a KIA.
I think that's what it was. It was like, I think they reported him missing in action, and then I think we just saw Nanbu watching the TV, and he's like, oh, you can't be dead. And he just assumed.
It would.
I think that, because they did mention killed in action and missing in action, I think both in the episode.
Okay.
I think that was just the I don't know. I was kind of confused by that. But yeah, I think he might have been officially reported missing in action, and then Nanbu just assumed he was it. I think that's what actually happened.
And that makes a little bit more sense of where like Miyagi and Aragaki were coming from.
But still, it is weird to be like, he's officially missing in action. They like have his picture.
Yeah.
So it is kind of, I don't know.
It is pretty.
I don't know where
the chances are slim of coming back from that.
Yeah, I guess. So we know like Nambu was in like the underground ring before the show. I'm just thinking like where would like when they
The
still found
timeline?
each other or something like because they're both still boxed like because Aragaki went
I think
he came back to Megaloboxing and they said like for the past couple years
it's got to be years. Yeah,
so
because there's no way they would like.
I figured they would have met by now, you know.
Yeah,
I don't know. I guess it
think
was all just kind of
Nambu
confusing
literally
to me.
left everything, but he just left everything and everyone behind.
Yeah, I guess Nambu was doing like he was away from the official
Yeah,
Megalonia scene.
yeah.
He was just like on his own, like now doing shady business. I guess
Right.
yeah, that's what happened.
Yeah, drinking, doing shady business. Yeah, no, that's yeah. If it's MIA instead of KIA, then that makes a lot more sense of the way that Aragaki and Miyagi are reacting, because there is that element of like finding out for sure, you know.
Yeah.
Because if it is a KIA report, it's like that's that's it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, if you know
There is that element of denial and like finding like seeing his dead body yourself or something like that. That makes sense. But the MIA, okay, that's a lot more believable. Of like, hey, is he still MIA? You know, because then the MIA will eventually turn into a KIA. I don't know.
I think it was more just about like, you know, like Nambu like shut the gym down and everything. Like he left like the thing.
Right.
And I think Aragaki's anger comes from Nanbu left and then Nanbu came back with someone else. And it's like
that's all he sees.
and it's like you came back, you left and then you came back and then not with me and then it's like
you left me when I needed you most, or you weren't there when I needed you most, and then you came back with someone else.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, that's very true, and I'm sure that's all Aragaki sees.
So Aragaki's now, he wants to fight Joe because
He wants to destroy Joe.
he wants to destroy Joe, and then that's how the episode ends. It's him just like smiling and like Joe's on the ground.
Yeah,
He's,
he
like
just
about to count like 9, just about to count to 10, just like
Yeah, Joe just got smacked hard.
yeah. Did he knock him out in one punch or like put him down in one punch? Because they just kind of like. He was blocking a lot of the punch. They kind of had
No,
it back
he hit
and
him.
forth.
He hit him before. It wasn't just like one.
Okay.
I mean, he obviously it was like one punch that he really connected with.
Yeah, it wasn't
But I mean, they'd been.
It wasn't very long. They just like.
It was like first or second round. Yeah, he just.
It's like first round for sure.
Yeah.
They didn't. I don't think they. Yeah, they like.
Yeah, but looking at, I mean, Aragaki demolished his other opponents too. You know, like they had to be taken off the ring in like a stretcher and. Like, when Sachio was showing pictures and stuff.
Yeah, he was doing research.
I actually like Sachio is in like this nice area as a character where he adds elements of like he adds pictures and dialogue but he's not in there too much. You know what I mean?
He's like the researcher. Just
right.
like they're
yeah, especially in an episode like this where it touches on very like dark themes. It's very real, hard connection to reality and like down to earth in that like nitty-gritty sense. And there's still this kid who has that like innocence and like naivety or whatever, like he's still naive and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And they like put him in there with him adding without also taking away or like being too annoying of a character to like pull you out of that real connection to how like scary this world can be.
I mean this episode kind of like it very much just like built upon this world,
Yeah, very much so.
And like it showed us another side of like that we didn't know was there.
Yeah, or like another layer.
Yeah.
Because the from like where they're staying and stuff, that it's poverty impacted, and or like low socioeconomic.
I know. I'm interested to like see now that like. I mean, I guess we have seen a bit of this. I just want to know what, like, I guess, like, maybe just another... Because are they in Japan? We've had this conversation, I think, before of, like, where are they? And we don't know.
I don't know.
Like, exactly. But I want to see, like... I'm curious to see, like, a nicer side of, like...
Yeah, there's got to be, like...
I feel like we have seen it for, like, I guess, like, where Yuri lives, maybe? I guess I'm just curious what, like, the nicer part of town looks like. And, like, are they all really into megaloboxing, too?
Good question.
It almost seems like the way it's portrayed is it is like more on the lower, near the slums.
Yeah, it's like the poor people's sport.
But like Megalonia is like this big thing that was like on screens on like.
Yeah, I mean it has to be. it has to be.
I feel like
entertainment for rich people. It has to be.
Yeah, because I just feel like every shot of like, I mean, we haven't gotten a lot of this, but the shots of like wherever they are, wherever the rings are, I feel like has never been in like a super nice place.
Right.
So
that's I mean, he's the number 17 fighter, and he's still like in this ragtag VA gym. Not that would change, but I still feel like he lives a very similar lifestyle to Joe. You know?
Like, I think Yuri's an exception. I think almost all fighters in the ring are like not living the nice life. You know?
Yeah. No,
I think Yuri's like the exception, and because Yuri's like. Did they say how long he's been megaloboxing? Because he's like sponsored or, you know, something. He has ties to.
He is, yeah, he's like the
official, which is weird still. Like, if he's sponsored by the official scene.
Yeah, like the official company that makes the gear.
And he's like the bodyguard of the woman.
The president of the company or whatever, yeah.
So that's still weird.
Obviously, there's collusion there.
Yeah,
to like
what's going
win the
on
fight
there?
and stuff like that.
But I mean, I guess Megalonia is a new thing. Like this is a brand new thing. That's the whole point of this, is that maybe it's just bringing megaloboxing out of the slums into more like the.
Oh, it could be.
Maybe that's what this whole thing is.
Yeah, maybe like normalizing.
Bring it into the spotlight.
Yeah. And you'll get a big draw because there's a lot of people doing it. You know, it's like a fan favorite of part of the. You know, socioeconomic or like demographic. There's a word. Like there's a big demographic that really enjoys this sport, you know? So yeah, maybe it is. That'd be really cool actually to see that to happening. I know there's a hidden agenda with the president or CEO of that company, but that would actually be pretty cool. I always like it when, you know, sports are made more normalized or something, you know, and it's not just like a poor man's or a rich man's, whatever. So.
This episode. I thought this episode was pretty good.
I thought it was. Yeah, it's
just like overall.
It does what it wants to do very well.
I think it did a good job of like introducing him, and then like having there be the fight at the end, and then it just like it ends on that like cliffhanger. Because I mean.
That
Joe's
can't
gonna
be
get up, right?
He's gotta,
You know, why would they end on 9 if it's just 10? All right, yeah. You know, like, why would they end on that cliffhanger?
Why would they end on the cliffhanger just to be like 10 the next episode? Yeah.
If he's not going to
get
back
lame.
up or something. So I like the pacing. I like the pacing of this episode.
The pacing was very good. You know, something that I wrote down some stuff about, like, whenever they introduce a new character, I kind of like try to analyze okay, was this a good character addition? That's why I still talk about Sachio. Was this a good character addition? Was it a bad? Like, in what ways was it good? In what ways was it bad? I mean, I thought they did a really good job, as you were saying, introducing this character. He adds a lot to the world. You know, there's another layer. We get to see this whole, you know, being a veteran, like coming home from war and adjusting. And he paints this picture, like opens this door of like, hey, this is something like actually happening in that world. And then, to me, I think the right amount of Argaki is revealed. You know, we feel like we know him, but we also don't know everything about him because, you know, in questions where Miyagi's like, hey, you're doing this fight so you can move on, right? And he goes, maybe. You know, there's still very much a mystery to him well. There's a lot going on under the surface.
We never were like in his headspace.
Right.
We only saw him from like, you know, other people's perspective most of the time.
So because you do get very much.
We never got to like hear his inner thoughts, you know, like what he's thinking in a moment.
Maybe we shouldn't, but like, there is still that unknown element to him, which I think is intriguing because when a character is introduced and like you find out everything about them in the first episode, kind of takes like the fun and the flair out of having them there. You know, nobody just like, you don't just make a new friend and then they tell you everything about them in one day, you know? Like there's an unpacking process that goes on. And I think they unpacked the right amount in this first episode to be like, to smack you with a punch, like, you know, no pun intended, be like, hey, I'm this character, I'm here, I'm adding a lot, but also not throwing everything in at one time. So because they're able to get like a fight in, like, or at least the first round of a fight.
I thought his introduction was good, and I think he's like an interesting character.
Yeah, he definitely adds depth to the backstories of Nanbu, but also, obviously Aragaki and Nanbu are the big focus, but you also see Joe like in it too. He's not just thrust to the back burner for the whole episode. He has his moments with Aragaki too, and I think there is very much that in I put like increasing the diversity of like character relationships. So I like that a lot. He again he's rehashing, I should say, his relationship with Nanbu, but also now there's just a whole new like character dynamic being created between fighters, and that's pretty cool.
There was like I don't remember enough about this episode. I feel like I should have watched it again or something, because like
we just watched it last night. So
I know we watched it last night.
Yeah.
Like I can't remember. It was late. Because like Joe gets mad at Nanbu but I don't remember why. It was like Nanbu wanted him to do something.
Oh, Nanbu wanted to not fight. He's I'm calling off the fight. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Or he's like, if something happens, then we're not gonna fight, or like we may not fight. And
Joe's he like
what
wasn't
are you
sure
doing?
or something, but Joe like wants to. Joe's just like, I don't care. Like I want to fight him or something like
Joe's
that.
like, we're going to Megalonia. Like he's just like, we're going to Megalonia.
Yeah. He's just like, this is our best shot. Like we have to.
Yeah, we have to. We need to go to Megalonia. This is how we do it.
Yeah, and I can't remember.
Oh, Nanbu is like, if I can't find you another fight, we're not doing it.
Yeah, and yeah, because Nanbu wants him to win too, because he has like he's
his butt's riding on the line. Yeah.
It's important to him that they win too.
Yeah. He's got his own skin to save.
But yeah, he didn't want to, and then Joe and Aragaki had like a conversation, but I don't remember their conversation either.
They had a couple ones.
Well, just like under the bridge, right? They had like
Joe and Aragaki, or
yeah.
Joe and Aragaki. Yeah, under the bridge.
And
Red Hot Chili Peppers.
I don't remember what it was like. Joe was talking about how like. I don't remember their conversation there, but like it was just about like Joe still wants to fight him or something. I don't know. I don't remember, so I feel bad. I'm like I don't remember what their conversation was.
It's all instigated by Joe, and he's basically just like, hey, if you think this is gonna be an easy fight, think again. You're gonna have to earn it. You're gonna actually have to.
I remember enjoying the episode. I don't remember all the scenes.
Yeah, it's a lot of scenes with Aragaki.
It went by really quick. A lot of like the
pacing
was good.
The pacing was good.
They put a lot. There was a lot of new information.
There was a lot of
There's a lot to.
That's an episode that would be hard to go back and watch, but would be very revealing. Yeah, like you said, on being able to unpack more, because there is so much new content because of a new character in it, and you're so focused on Aragaki that sometimes the small moments with Joe and Asachi or some of the other characters get lost, because the primary focus is on that new character, which
there's a lot of new information in this episode.
Right, there's a lot of new information, so it's like anytime you learn something for the first time again, it's beneficial to go back and rewatch or relearn, just because new information intake can be overwhelming. But overall very good. I thought a lot of good stuff.
Yeah, it was definitely
in terms of like quality of episode. There's a lot of negative and dark themes in the show, but my hope is that there is like some kind of like overcoming of like this dark and evil thing that's in that world and in our world of military veterans coming home and like adjusting to civilian life and dealing with PTSD and all these dark like mental, emotional sandbags, like things that weigh them down in life, and also the physical ones. Obviously Aragaki lost limbs, So I my hope is that there's like this overcoming and like I don't know, like epiphany of Aragaki being able to move forward in a healthier way.
Yeah, you want there to be a happy ending,
Yeah,
or like
essentially,
like,
yes, I do.
Yeah, to not. I mean,
I don't mean for it to be sunshine and rainbows because like that's no, I'm not that like. I
you
like
want
things that are
Aragaki,
real.
to like you make up with
yes,
Nambu.
in
them
a
to
way,
come to like an agreement,
not where they're like hugging out like super like bro and bro at the end of the episode, but like some sort of positive direction in the step of hope and reconciliation.
Yeah, I'm sure we'll get that next episode.
That's what I would like to see.
I think like the next episode will have. Yeah, I'm curious because like I think Joe will get up, but I don't know. I think because I'm wondering if next episode is going to be like their fight, like the entire next episode is going to be like their fight, or is it only going to be like a little like is Joe going to lose, and then like they'll like is Joe going to lose to him? But then, like, is the story still going to continue with Aragaki?
Yeah.
Like, if Joe loses, what's going to happen?
Right.
But, like, I guess maybe he won't. I don't know. Yeah,
it's kind of what we were talking about earlier. Is like this guy just going to come into the story and pass by?
I don't think.
Or is he going to come in and is he going to stay relevant for the rest of the, rest of the season?
I don't know. Yeah, who did we talk about that with last time?
We talked about it
There's another character who I was like, is he going to stick around?
There was this, we were forecasting for this one.
Oh, we were talking about Aragaki.
Yeah, before we knew it was Aragaki.
Yeah.
Which I think it should be resounding. This guy is probably going to stay around. Like, he may not be in every episode, but he's probably going to be relevant for the rest of the season.
I mean, yeah, I don't know.
I would think so, but we'll see. It obviously depends on how this fight goes. And depends on
I think
how much reconciliation there is. Yeah.
I think through Joe and Aragaki's fight, we'll see. Like they'll have. I mean, I don't know. They don't talk during the fight, but like I think. I don't know. I don't know.
They talk with their fists.
Well, I don't know. I think if Joe, I guess if like Joe wins, like I figure that'll like. I don't know. I don't know what to think for next episode.
I feel like if Joe wins, Aragaki will
go from here.
Will start to fade out. But if Aragaki wins, he's going to still be put like in that foreground of the... Because he's going to... but then how would you... Who's the number one fighter again? I always forget his name.
Yuri?
Yuri, yeah, Yuri.
Is he the number one fighter? I think he is, yeah.
But like... Yeah, Yuri's in the foreground of like... He's the man to beat. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? He is... I mean, obviously the goal is Megalonia.
I mean,
Megalonia and Yuri are basically one.
That's how the show starts.
Right.
It introduces Yuri.
So like, if Aragaki wins, does Aragaki take over enemy number one?
I think if Aragaki wins, I think there's a potential that I think if Aragaki wins, I think the story will just like continue. But like, I guess I don't know. I was going to say that like Joe would rematch him. But like I don't know if that'll happen, but I think the story will continue with Aragaki if Joe does lose. I just don't know if I'll have like a rematch after that. Like I think of Pokemon when like Ash loses the gym, he doesn't just like all right, let's go find another gym. It's like he keeps doing the gym, until he wins. Right,
and that's my point of Aragaki will take over as public enemy number one for Joe
like here,
as opposed to Yuri. So Yuri is going to fade away, and Aragaki is going to become that obstacle to get over. As like a long-term goal.
It's not exactly Pokemon comparison isn't exact with this because it's like technically right he could fight hypothetically the number 16 fighter and then beat him. Like he doesn't have to fight Aragaki.
He doesn't have to fight, right?
But he could win the whole thing,
But so, knowing Joe and like there's
a potential that he loses and then like that story continues, but they just don't fight again.
Right.
So I don't know.
Yeah, but I don't think that would. I think Joe would get fixated on beating him again. The fixation would turn from Yuri to Aragaki, but I don't see how that would advance the story. I don't know. Maybe.
Yeah, I don't know.
Interesting to think about for sure.
That's what I was saying. I'm like, I don't know where it's gonna go from here. I'm not sure.
Yeah, and that's kind of the cool part is there's a lot of different ways.
Because obviously, I think it's gonna end probably at Megalonia in the final fight. It's probably gonna where we're gonna end up at the end. But yeah, I'm not sure where. Like what the next like 6 episodes? Because this is episode 5.
Gosh, we've gone through so much content. It's only 5 episodes.
There are 8 episodes left.
Yeah.
Math? Yep. 8 episodes.
Math?
13.
Math. Yeah. Yeah, no, there's a lot that's already happened.
Yeah, so I'm not sure what's gonna happen for like the next 6 episodes. You know, it's like I'm not sure.
Yeah.
I guess I just don't how long, are we how long is the Aragaki, like how long are we gonna focus on Aragaki?
I don't
I
only see it happening for one more episode. Because
probably,
otherwise,
but I think I don't know.
Yeah, because in the overarching,
like I think this show, even though up to this point it has been like episodic, for the most part, each episode is about something else. Like
right.
I don't think it has to be that way. Is what I'm saying. Like I think they could switch and be like, oh, now we're focused on this thing for the next 4, and then we're focused on Yuri for the last 4, and then that's it. Like I think it doesn't have to. It might not be like, all right, like we're gonna get 5 more fighters after Aragaki.
That's
to focus
true.
on,
Yeah. I know. I feel like that would fit into more of the thematic scheme, but like, yeah, I don't know. I feel like it would kind of derail from what it's going if it went into Aragaki becomes the focus for the next 4 episodes.
I don't think it will be. I'm just saying, like, I could see it.
Right. Yeah. No, absolutely. Yeah. I mean, my response is into like the validation of that actually being the case. But for me, I think it would like throw off things a little bit because from the very get-go, it's like Yuri is the man to beat. And I don't think that, I mean, obviously there's like a mountain to climb before you get there, but
yeah, you don't think Joe's there yet.
I don't think all of a sudden he's not going to look down and realize he's climbing the mountain for Aragaki and not Yuri's mountain. To be very like, like what's the word? Not like hyperbolic, but very image and like metaphor based, essentially.
I know you kind of lost me there. The focus isn't going to be on Aragaki till the end. No, I don't think.
Yeah, I mean it's
going to be the case.
Yeah, because otherwise it just, why would you even have the first bit? Like this would just be episode number 2. If the focus isn't on Yuri and Megalonia at the end.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, there is a cool. I can see it going in a lot of different ways, which is pretty fun. So.
But yeah. Looking forward to the next episode.
Yeah, it should be really good. My only like one criticism of the show and like more objective based is, I've talked about how they've and I love characters and how they're introduced and all that stuff. We see Miyagi, who is Aragaki's new trainer at the VA gym, the veterans gym, and he just like shows up and just has this role, but to me it's like I don't know who he is. I'd like to know who he is and how long he's been with Aragaki and how much, because all of a sudden it's just he's talking to Nambu and it's like he knows Aragaki very well. Well, how? Yeah, like show me a little bit so that I can know who this guy is and start to like him. And
he didn't really have an introduction. Miyagi, right. He was just kind of that was a little confusing as well. Is that Miyagi was just, I mean, I'm saying it like, oh yeah, Miyagi, but it's because he's just a simple name and I looked it up.
Yeah, we were talking about it before. That's how we know so much.
There's a while, but we had a little bit between episode 4 and 5. So I was like, is that the guy at the end of 4 who introduced? Because we didn't pick up from that scene, right? At the end of 4, it's like Aragaki walking up to Nanbu, but we didn't.
It was all Aragaki after that. Yeah.
We never saw the end of. We never saw their actual introduction, right?
Yeah.
Or like we didn't see Aragaki
with the
meeting Nanbu. Like we didn't see their first interaction, right?
I don't think so. It just started with them on the bench, I think, right?
I don't remember, but Miyagi. He didn't really have an introduction.
Right, he didn't introduce him.
And I was confused, of who he was at first.
Yeah, he was just kind of like the middleman or the broker or whatever.
So yeah, he could have been. They could have introduced him better, like help that to like, okay, this is who he is.
Yeah, I did like the start of the episode.
He was the one talking with Nambu at the graves, right?
Miyagi was.
Yeah.
Yeah.
At that point. I was that earlier on the episode, because I think at that point I was like, was this just a guy standing there? I didn't know he was a character. It
was early. It was in the first half for sure.
Like I didn't even realize if we'd seen him before. Like I don't know. He like his face.
Yeah, he just kind of like came out of nowhere, and you obviously like knew like where he was from and what, you know, you knew that he was like associated with Aragaki and played like this
Yeah, I just wasn't
quote
sure
unquote like mentor, like
relationship.
trainer role. Yeah.
Yeah.
You understand the hierarchy of his relationship, but you also don't know like who he is, what he's about. And you know, there's more ways to do it than just have like some monologue that he says, but not having his character really defined to me was like just an opportunity missed. You know, that's like my one criticism, I would say, of just being able to add a little bit more depth to like Aragaki's current situation, which I think will help us understand, you know, him as a character and as a fighter as well a little bit more. But other than that, I thought it was good in terms of...
This episode's really long now. But that's about it.
Yeah, well, I mean, there's a lot to like go over.
We've been going for a while, yeah.
Yeah, there's a lot to go over. It's pretty dark, and I really... I hope to see like some good come out of this, you know, for both Aragaki and Joe and Nanbu and everybody.
Yeah, I think it'll be good. Like next, yeah. This is another good episode. This is one of the
another yeah, we're building on good episodes. So it'll be good. So all right, yeah, with that, I think I'm all good on my wrap up. So okay, cool. Well, thanks for everybody for tuning in. This was episode 5 of our Megalobox series here on Anime Static, Shock and Jay's anime podcast. Be sure to check out the other episodes. Leave a comment if you like. Stay tuned, and we will see everybody next time.